What's up, family? Hey, I want to talk to you guys about something. I love movies. I use a lot of movies for a lot of different reasons when I'm working with young people or people my age group as well. Movies can have great lessons in them, and so often we can't see something within us until we see it within someone else. And it is only by seeing it in someone else that we're able to recognize it within ourselves. And so, movies have been a great tool of mine to show somebody something that they may need to work on. And if they don't work on it, what the possible outcomes may be. So often, when you have these types of conversations with people, people just blow it off as, oh, what do you know? But when they're able to sit down and watch a movie, they don't personalize it. And so they're able to sit there and look at this movie as this character, and they see what their negative thoughts can do, and they see just all the chaos that goes on, and they never personalize it. And so they're engaged in the movie, and they're like, man, that's crazy, and this guy's stupid, and whoop de whoop de whoop. They have all these things, and then when you flip the script, and it's like, well, that's you. Look at your life. That's you. you know and don't be so quick to judge other people. That's you. And if you're not careful, you're going to end up in that same path. And now they're able to take a step back and like, oh crap, that is me. So movies have been a great tool of mine for that reason. One of the movies that I really love is the new Joker. It came out about a year ago, and in this movie, it depicts how this man who just wants to be accepted, who just wants to be loved, just wants to be embraced, and everywhere he turns, he's beat down, abused, and rejected, and just dogged out by just society, his family, just everybody. He doesn't have a father figure. Just go through life. And so many of us can relate to that lifestyle or that life. And it's crazy because situations have a way of bringing you to a fork in the road. In science, they call it bifurcation. You're gonna split. You're gonna stay on the path that you're on, which is going to lead to the chaos, to the destruction of the Joker, or you're gonna split. You're gonna change, and you're going to become loving and compassionate and forgiving and merciful and all these other things. Something's going to happen, and the choice is yours. You can't blame society for how you are. Society plays a role in how you are, but ultimately the choice is yours, and it's yours alone. The easy route is the route to stay on, the route that you've been on, that leads to the chaos, that leads to the destruction, that leads to mayhem. The hard route is the path, that leads to love, that leads to understanding, that leads to mercy and forgiveness. That's hard. And most of us aren't willing to stop being a victim. Most of us feel entitled to be a victim. Most of us enjoy being a victim. And so, but it takes great strength, great internal strength to be able to let all that go and to learn how to forgive, to learn how to move past the anger, the rage, the hatred, and to love. That's so hard to do. And I'm speaking from experience. That's hard to do. And most people aren't willing to do that because they have to change their way of thinking. They have to change everything about them. And no one wants to do that for the most part. it's easier to blame others. It's easier to blame our parents, people that have broke our hearts, people that have betrayed us, people that have abused us, to blame our government, to blame certain religious groups, to blame political groups. It's easier to blame everybody else as opposed to looking at ourselves and looking at the man or the woman in the mirror and saying, hey, I'm not going to allow this to dictate who I become. I'm not going to allow my past hurt, my past pain to define who I am. I'm going to allow that to push me down this path of being a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of forgiveness. You can allow your past to make you bitter, or you can allow your past to make you better. The choice is yours and yours alone. My hope and prayer for you is that today you find the internal strength, the fortitude to find your path of righteousness. And when I say the path of righteousness, I'm not talking about some religious group or religious place. I'm not talking about anything superficial or petty like that. I'm talking about, may you find your righteous path that leads to a greater understanding of who you are, a greater acceptance of who you truly are, a love for who you are, a forgiveness for others for not being perfect, a forgiveness of others for the chaotic, destructive lives that they've lived and how it's impacted you in the aspect that it showed you how you didn't want to be, in the aspect that has shown you how, okay, if they're going to be crazy, if they're going to be destructive and verbally abusive, physically abusive, whatever, I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be forgiving. I'm not going to allow them to dictate who I am. I'm not going to allow them to define me. I love you guys. Peace.